Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Atom RPG, a post-apocalyptic indie game, as the game that I would like to show you today. It's developed and published by Atom Team, which is a small indie team out of Poland, Ukraine, Russia and Latvia, and you can definitely feel the influence of that in this game. And they haven't really done anything else apart from this game when it came out, but also the upcoming standalone sequel, which is Atom RPG Trudograd. Apologies. But that's a couple of days away. It's on PC, and this was actually released back in mid-December of 2018. So not that long ago, but obviously not brand new. But due to the sequel being a couple of days away, that's sort of my impetus for having a look at this today. It goes for about $20 Australian, or roughly 15 US, and at the moment it's on a 30% discount on Steam, and I can only assume it's because it's sequel week. Now, according to the game's blurb, Atom RPG is a post-apocalyptic indie game inspired by classic CRPGs Fallout, Wasteland, Deus Ex, Baldur's Gate, and many others. It also styles itself as an RPG in a post-apocalyptic setting with turn-based combat, and of course it's indie. And look, I can confirm that, obviously. It is, as we call them these days, a CRPG. There was a time where that was just an RPG. If you're not familiar, that just means a computer RPG. All that's really saying is that it is true to the hardcore translation in old games of Baldur's Gate's a great example, and Fallout 1, where they took tabletop D&D rule sets and hard transferred them into an isometric game setting. A lot of RPGs now, in the current sort of use of the terminology, are a lot softer as far as the hard stats and dice rolls. I'm not being critical either way, that's just how it is. So when you see the term CRPG, it really does mean a very hardcore, stat-heavy, old-school game. And that's exactly what this is. It plays out as a CRPG. It's wearing its influences of Fallout 1 and 2 on its shoulder very clearly, but it does have this Russian Euro twist to it, and that's the main thing that sort of sets it apart from that. I played a bit of it, obviously. This is the sort of game that is a time sink. It's a very slow burn and kind of dry. I mean, given the setting and the fact that it is designed to go for hours and hours, your mileage is going to vary. I would think that if you're already familiar with this sort of genre and you've gone looking for it, then it's safe to say that this is a solid get. From my experience, there hasn't been any major bugs, issues, crashes, dramas, anything like that. It's a solid experience, and that's all you could really hope for. What I would probably say is I find the dialogue system to be a little bit rigid. They do have some clever writing, and all the characters have their unique sort of quirks, but the way that you interact with them is, you'll get like 5 dialogue choices, like, hello, introduction, got any rumors, you want to sell, that sort of thing. And it does seem a little bit copy-paste, at least compared to its sort of contemporaries. But that's nitpicking, because at the same time it is fairly varied. The setup is pretty straightforward. You're dispatched from essentially an organized, let's say, military unit on a mission. You're very quickly, in an introduction style, trounced and jumped by dudes and left with nothing but a water bottle, which is a good setup, because if you are in this wasteland and desert, you need to wander around and have nothing. That sort of is the fashion. I guess it embraces what the game is all about. It doesn't make sense to just be rolling around from the start, being an absolute Giga Chad that can kill everything. Having said that, your dude does have a pretty strong background, and you have a robust character creator, as you would expect from these sort of things. Now, I'm obviously not huge on character customization. It doesn't really go much more than, say, picking a portrait and picking a name. But as you would expect if you have played these Fallout-style games, a lot of stats, a lot of stuff to figure out. A lot of it's not going to make a lot of sense to you until you've played through and you've figured out where you sit with the combat system and weapons, and it is one of those things that I find my eyes glaze over a little bit with these character creators, because until you've played through the game for like 10 hours, you don't really understand what a lot of these stats truly do and where the balance in the game lies. But I suppose for repeat play and wanting to min-max, it is quite robust. So, but that's my main sort of point. There's not much else that I can really say other than for what this is going for in its genre, all its mechanics are solid, if only because they're very safe and very close to their source material. But again, I'm someone that says you shouldn't go back based on nostalgia and like I wouldn't play Fallout 1 to be honest, because I feel like it probably doesn't hold up so well compared to how I remember it. I understand how nostalgia works and we conflate it. I'm happy with the good memory. I don't want to crash it by playing the game in this modern setting with my modern sort of tendencies. Having said that, the fact that this is still solid today and good to play, to me, speaks highly of Atom Team and their ability to take this genre from bloody 20 years ago, and they've transported it into a modern setting and it made it playable in 2020. So, if you do have that itch, if you feel that you want to go back and play a Fallout style game, or even like Baldur's Gate, I felt that scratch because Baldur's Gate 3's upcoming soon. Maybe have a look at something like this because it is very faithful to the genre and from what I understand is just solid, a solid good experience all around. I can't really say much more highly of it. Anyway, so look, it wasn't going to be a huge video, but more just, again, I like putting these things on your radar. Perhaps you didn't know about it. Perhaps you were part of the younger audience. I know I do have a bit of an older audience, but maybe you're not even familiar with this sort of genre because it's not a modern sort of idea, the CRPG. There are modern iterations of it, things like Divinity Original Sin and the aforementioned Baldur's Gate 3. They have this twist to them. They've made them a lot more user-friendly in the modern setting, which I'm all about. But this is a little bit more retro. And yeah, if you were wanting to sort of reconnect with those roots and the origins of the CRPG genre, this would be actually a really good one to check out, especially with the sequel around the corner. It'd probably be a really good taste test without breaking your wallet to see if you'd be interested in the Trudegrad sequel that's coming up. Anyway, I think I've covered it off fairly well. And then beyond this, like I said, if you did have more of a taste, there are plenty of other games out there. The Wasteland series I can't really attest to because I haven't played, but they're on my list. They'll be coming up shortly. But like original Fallouts and Baldur's Gate, that sort of stuff, the old CRPGs. If you do play this and you enjoy it and you like the taste of it, check out those as well. They'd be right up your alley, I think. All right, team, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.